Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our special one-shot of Dune Adventures in the Imperium. I'm the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will. I'll be your storyteller this evening. We're going to start off long before Paul Atreides and Leto Atreides were betrayed by the Emperor Padishah, the great Emperor Hadasham IV, long before any of the events of Frank Herbert's book, just after the Butlerian Jihad. In the Canopus star system on the edge of the Empire sits the arid desert planet of Arrakis, or as the rest of the Empire calls it, Dune. It is the homeworld of the Spice Melange, the most important product in the whole of the Empire. The planet sits far from any populated worlds and trade routes, orbited by two moons, the larger of the two which appears like a human fist. It has been 200 or so years since the Butlerian Jihad, and the importance of spice has spread throughout the galaxy. Because faster-than-light travel is now possible, in earnest, fold space technology and the navigation to plot out safe courses through the nothing between points have made the galaxy much smaller. As a gift for the battle-hardened warriors of the Great House of Moritani, the current Emperor of House Corrino has appointed them the stewards of Arrakis. For now. This has honored and terrified the members of House Moritani, and before the Declaration's ink has finished drying, a new claim for the planet has been submitted, and an open debate to their claim has come from House Genaz. A distrans messenger and an initiate of the Order of the Mentats must be transported safely from Arrakeen to the Fremen Sietch known as Du Maldav. The messenger is a young man named Devil Byers. The message he carries is a declaration of treason against House Vernius regarding the sentient automaton that they have harbored since the Jihad. He has with him a young woman, Vera Hentuck, still in her training with the Bene Gesserit Sisterhood, but who has let her emotions get the better of her, and she has come to find herself emotionally attached to the success and the survival of Devil. We open just on the outskirts of what will become the city of Arrakeen with our two fantastic guests, who some of you might recognize from our Vampire the Masquerade campaign. Before we get into the big hoopla of the game, let me let you introduce yourselves and what you do and where people can find you. Let's start with Jeff, and we'll shoot off to Kenny after that.
So my name is Jeff. I'm part of Will's wonderful menagerie of games, including Vampire the Masquerade and the Dungeons and Dragons game that are doing on Friday nights. I also have a few podcasts, True Crime Podcast with one of the other members of our D&D group, Q. It's called Crimacopia, and a martial arts podcast called Kickflix. It's Netflix with a kick. I hope we don't get sued for that.
Hope so, too.
Do you want me to introduce my character, or
you can? Yeah, let's hear a little bit about Hokunur.
So Hokunur is fairly young, early 20s, a scholar, somebody who is he wants to explore the universe, and specifically Arrakis, because he's heard so much about it. He may have gone about it in ways that were less than official, but he has a thirst for knowledge and a thirst for potentially being somebody that can identify things on Arrakis that people have never discovered before.
That's the hope.
It's the hope.
And now, Kenny, where can people find you, and what are you up to?
Well, Jeff and myself are actually also a part of Crit or Die. We Twitch every so often games that I for sure am horrible at, like Elden Ring, and Jeff currently is playing Fortnite. Hopefully we tag team and play on that a little bit. I'm also part of quite a I'm also part of your D&D campaign that you do once a month. What is it? Twice a month on Fridays. I'm also part of your Vampire the Masquerade, as you said before. My character is so far he's Freeman, and he is built. He's a warrior's warrior. I think the closest thing I can akin to that would be his drive is very much like duty and honor.
Duty.
Very similar to a Klingon. If easiest way to describe it, for anybody who's never seen Dune or is part or knows about the Freeman, that's the closest that my character is. He is very weary of any outworlder, obviously, just like most Freeman are. However, I do have that little shining hope that somebody that does come to this planet will end up, you know, fulfilling the prophecy as being the Messiah. So, I'm just what's going on right now in that what I feel is the otherworldly endeavors. As it's either way, it's affecting us, and I'm just not happy about it.
Okay.
Forgot to mention I'm a Sook doctor.
Sook doctor for House Moritani, of course.
For House Moritani, of course.
So, yes, the couple of things to kind of get out of the way before anything else. As I said, there's 3 forms of currency that you can use to help you in this game. One is momentum. You start at 0, but feel free to roll on any checks that you'd like, just to earn some momentum early on. Any successes you get beyond the standard difficulty of a roll translates into momentum. Your pool can never be higher than 6, and just know that you cannot carry them over from scene to scene. Every time that we switch scenes, you will lose a point of momentum. The second one that you have is determination. You start off with 1 point automatically, and anytime that a roll aligns with one of your drive statements, you can use the determination to get a couple of benefits from it. If you ever have to roll against your drive statement, you might earn a point of determination depending on the circumstances. And the last resource that you have is threat. I am supposed to start off with 2 points per player. There's only 2 of you, so I will be benevolent and only start off with 1 point per player. So I have 2 threat automatically that I can start to use against you. You can always replace threat with any momentum. So if you have no momentum and you want to get the benefits of what a momentum point would give you, you can always translate that into threat for me. I will thank you profusely because I get to use threat to spice things up, pun intended.
Because of the spice.
Oh, hey!
Because of the sand. So, as of right now, it is morning on Arrakis. The sun is starting its climb in the sky. The moons, although still partly visible, have sunk low on the opposite horizon. And there is this great freighter, this massive monstrosity of a ship that has carried House Moritani all the way over here from its original home sector. There's a few other ships. There's ornithopters around. There's ground vehicles. Work has started on what will become the city of Arrakis. The Fremen have seen these great ships come in from the sky above. The skies themselves have become much busier since the Empire has learned not just of Arrakis, but what Arrakis holds, which is the secret to longevity, the secret to heightened awareness, secret to fold space, to create safe paths for faster than light travel, to create a network that will stand the test of time for thousands of years until one Paul Atreides is born. It is morning. The ship has already come to life. Servants are all over the place. And where do we find Hokunur?
Hokunur is probably going to be either in his quarters, or if there's on the ship, if there's some kind of a library or area of held knowledge, I guess is the best way for me to put it. He would probably be in that area, reading up on any additional information or scouting reports or anything that people may have about Arrakis, trying to learn as much as possible.
Whereas Paul Atreides has the hollow viewers of the history of Arrakis, unfortunately, Hokunur does not have that luxury. The amount of times that people have come here to Arrakis to explore and to catalog things have ended in lost expeditions. There's an air of cursedness to this planet. Although no one understands how life can exist on the planet, the one report that has made it through for several people that have verified it is the fact that there is a race of people, Fremen, that have survived on Arrakis since before the Empire, since before the Jihad. And it is almost unknown how long people have been here. But they've survived. And they continue to survive and thrive. From what you've seen, there's nothing but sand as far as the eye can see. Rocks here and there. And there is a terrible wailing that you can hear in the evening that people have come to fear. Terror strikes the camps. And as such, Arrakeen has been pushed from its original position back several times towards the mountain range, because every time that work has started on the sand, the great worms have come. And at first, it is hard to believe these stories of any of the survivors that have come to you looking for help, for aid, because they mention these massive maws that could easily eat up an ornithopter, could easily eat up any of the ground vehicles that you have, maybe some of the smaller freighters even. But in the last couple of days, since moving to the rocks, do you think Hokunur has actually seen one of the makers, one of the great worms, the Shai Hulud?
If there was some kind of announcement or some kind of declaration saying, hey, we need to move, we need to do this because of it, I'm sure the first thing he would have done is run up to see it.
Okay.
He's the type of person to oh, there's something exciting going on, I want to see it, I want to catalog it, I want to identify it, and so on and so forth.
What do you think would have been his response to seeing a maw about 8 meters wide just coming up out of the sand?
He's surprisingly calm despite that. He's one for he's typically very composed, and so to him it's something new, it's something exciting. So he looks at it from a perspective of like a child or an adventurer that just discovered a new location or an item or a lost treasure or something like that. So he though others may have been scared or nervous or a little petrified from it, he would have been all leaning over the edge, looking, calculations in his head of distances and stuff like that, and learning as much as he could every time he saw one.
Okay. The matron of House Moritani has asked you to keep an eye on Jurel, the heir to the house. He is a little aloof. He seems to be very melancholic as of arriving. Arrakis is much different than the homeworld that you left behind. There's no water anywhere as far as the eye can see, and although you haven't had a need to start rationing it, there's been a report that they've seen shapes in the sands moving around, but there's never been any visage, any mentions of water tanks. It comes down to you that Devil and Vera have to be escorted to the siege to meet these Fremen. They've asked you and a swordmaster, not the house's main swordmaster, but one of his apprentices, to go with them. Once you can make sure that Devil, nothing befalls him, since he carries a very important message. And secondly, they want to have you as close to the Fremen as possible so that you can study them. You can bring back any weaknesses that these, for lack of a better term, humans might have. Because they're still not sure if they're entirely human, after all.
Yeah, I would immediately volunteer. Oh, yeah, not a problem. No worries, no problem whatsoever. I'd be very happy to do this.
Okay. And the day comes almost a week later, where everyone, you can see from the balcony up on the freighter, there is a large group of workers that have just created this wide berth for maybe a dozen shapes in black that are moving towards the freighter's landing port. But everybody seems to be giving them a wide berth. And as word gets around that the Fremen have arrived to escort you back to their siege, there's a buzz of excitement. Devil is scared. You can see that his leg is just shaking as he's sitting down in the waiting room. By direct opposite contrast, the young apprentice to the Bene Gesserit that's sitting across from him, stoic. She has no visible movement, and even when you enter the waiting room, if you didn't know better, it was almost an imperceptible nod in your direction. But the Swordmaster's apprentice comes in last, and just because of the ridiculousness of the name that is Duncan Idaho, I decided to call him Russell Michigan. Figured one of you would enjoy it.
Oh, I love it. That's amazing.
But
excellent wordplay, sir.
yeah, The one thing that you notice as the Fremen are escorted into the waiting room is all of them. The only thing that you can see is the little patch of skin around their eyes and the eyes themselves. And although you've heard rumors to see the blue within blue that their eyes have is haunting. It's mesmerizing. What does Thofar look like?
Well, so far, I mean, when he's not with the still suit and everything on, or his face underneath is what you're asking.
Yeah. Now that you're inside and that they've escorted you into what they've called a waiting room, you can see
Mhm.
that the head of this little expeditionary group has taken off his mask, has let it swing down below his chin, but has kept his head wrapping where it is. And as the rest of the group sees this, they start to follow suit.
Oh, I would follow the same. Uh, I'll be able to. I I'll go. I won't pull it off completely.
Mm.
Um, obviously, just for context, this is given my age, this would probably be the first time I run into a group of outworlders that have come to this land since the last time. Correct?
Yeah, some of the other sieges have dealt with outlanders, and some of them have claimed
Mm-hmm.
that outlandish things. This is the first time that you've been chosen to come and be a part of a welcoming party, quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote welcome party.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this, if nothing else, this actual arena is very unfamiliar
Mhm.
to Thofar because he's usually, um, you know, he is when it comes to battle or skirmish. That's his go-to. That's what he's trained for. He's built. He's built to be one with his blade. However, when it comes to acts of politics and politeness, that's not his forte whatsoever. So he is literally taking cue from who he's following, from his leader. So he sees suit, he brings it down. You see the eyes,
Mm.
the blue on blue, as you said before. However, you do notice that there is that indentation mark that you can tell from the sun that it looks like I was the opposite of wearing. It's the opposite of wearing goggles. Essentially, you
Mm.
see all of this is tanned up, and you can see just a little bit underneath. No beard, opposite of me, no beard whatsoever. But you can see that the skin tone is different, as though I never take off this still suit, the mask or the still suit itself.
Yeah.
I'm keeping I'm keeping my wrappings on my hands. Uh, but essentially that's all you can really see. You can see some of the tuft of my black hair coming through, but that's essentially it.
Okay. Um, so Devil Byers is average height with a thinner than average build. He has short black hair and green eyes, and there's the beginning of the tint of red to his lips that's been attributed to the sappho juice that the Mentats rely on. He wears the purple and yellow trim of House Moritani, but he does not appear to come from one of the vassal houses. There's something simple about him. Vera, on the other hand, is a bit taller than average. She has a robust figure. She has mostly walnut brown hair, though there are streaks of red that pull her close to auburn more than anything else. Her soft brown eyes are inviting, and whether it's genetic or training is anyone's guess. But she's dressed in the black dress that is typical of the Bene Gesserit, though her sash and her obi-like belt are adorned with the purple and yellow threading to show her allegiance to House Moritani. What does Hokunur look like?
Very thin build. The outfit he's got on at the moment The best way to describe it is if think of any kind of like adventure movie where the guy that's not the adventurer but is like the money of the operation, or they think that they're dressed up for the occasion. It's that stereotypical in his mind from the books he's read and things like that of what to go on an adventure. This is what I should be wearing. So it's a lot of muted colors. He does have a scarf for around his neck to put over his face. That is of the colors of the House Moritani. So it's got streaks of the purple and gold in it. He's got a small satchel. As they notice, as the Fremen notice, I don't know, Will, is this the first time that I've interacted with the Fremen?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so I have a notebook and I'm writing everything down.
Okay.
Like I'm sitting there just actively staring with no idea of it being potentially rude or anything like that. I'm just fascinated by what I'm seeing, and I'm just writing everything down. He's got a very clean, trimmed down beard that goes down to a point, and you see some spectacles that are hanging from his neck area. There's like a part of the satchel has like a little case that looks like it holds some spectacles in it.
And of course, you have the black diamond pattern tattooed onto your forehead.
Oh, yes.
To show that you are graduate of the Suk Medical School.
Correct.
That's a high honor.
I so far I want to add seeing this because obviously this is first time I see somebody outside of wearing a still suit, which I forgot to mention. The still suit is literally just skin tight. That's all that so far is wearing. Medium build, about 6 feet tall or so. You can tell that if he has any fat, it's not showing whatsoever. There's no fat when it comes to survival in the fucking desert. So you can tell with that. But once I see that Jeff's character writing down and is actually frantically taking notes, I put my hands back like I'm standing at attention, but my hands are close to where I have both my blades. One is the crest knife, and the other is the longer blade. But I look over at my council leader just to confirm, just to look at him to see his expression, what he's doing, to make sure that this is something normal.
Yeah. Let's have you roll the first roll of the day.
Oh,
Earn yourself some momentum.
Momentum.
But let's have you roll. I think I'm gonna do an understand and truth, or understand and power, your choice.
Understand and truth, considering those are higher.
Okay.
Because my power is my lowest drive.
Okay. So that's going to set your difficulty at 10, or your target number at 10, rather.
Okay.
I'm going to make this a difficulty 1. It's a simple test. You're just trying to size up the group that's been set up before you.
And that's 2 dice, right?
2 dice, yeah.
And while he rolls that, Will, I do have a focus in observation.
Yeah.
So I would like to kind of see as much as I can from of all these Fremen, what they're doing, differences if there's men and women, the differences in the still suits. What are the still suits? All that kind of stuff.
Okay.
I'm observing.
All right, so that'll be a discipline and truth roll as well for you.
That's 2 10s, just to let you know.
2 10s. Okay. So you got 1 point of momentum. Do you want to pool it, or do you want to use it immediately?
I'll pool it for now. There's nothing too crazy. I'm literally just trying to take social cues from somebody who's done this before.
Yeah.
Because this is a very foreign endeavor for me.
Yeah, you notice that none of the four of them that are there have a still suit on. They all look almost like they're just gonna go out towards the desert planet. So some of them do have what looks to be fashionable, rather practical footwear. Some of them do have something to protect their mouth at least. But there's no way that they're gonna retain any of
They're
their
gonna
water.
die.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna die.
They'll be lucky if they survive 2 hours in the desert.
Will, as a focus, because it's a focus, what does that benefit give me?
So because you're using a focus, your discipline's a 7, your truth is an 8, so your target number is anything lower than 15, 15 or lower.
Okay.
But because you have a focus, anything that is a 7 or lower counts as a critical success.
Okay. I got a 1 and an 8.
Okay. So the 1 automatically counts as an automatic success, so that's 2 points there. And the 8 gives you 1 extra success, so you've got 3 total. 1 to size up, so that gives you 2 to pool if you want to, or 2 to use immediately.
Can I split that or no?
Yeah. You want to
I will.
pool 1 and use 1?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to use the 1 point for?
I want to.
You can obtain information.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the only thing that you can really use 1 point for. You're not buying any dice right now.
No, that's true. Because we wouldn't buy dice at this point. Actually, I'm gonna pull the 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a momentum pool of 3 right now. You notice that they're all wearing the same suit, the same kind of form-fitting, black, almost what looks like some kind of, if not armored, it is very rugged. And although it looks clunky and what's it called, clumsy, they move rather elegantly in them. There's out of the dozen that have shown up, there are 5 males and 7 females. All of them kind of have the same darker patch where the eyes go, almost like a raccoon, kind of. But their skin is still tanned; it's still weathered. The one thing that you notice is that only about 4 of them have an extra little sheath near their hip where you see a knife. And they're all very similar looking handles. They look like bone, fashioned with some kind of leather. And although the blade isn't seen, you notice that they're no longer than tip of the middle finger to the wrist. Like they're small knives. You can't imagine them being anything but ornamental. Maybe that they denote rank.
I walk over to the Furman.
All right. Yeah.
No particular location, just whoever's like in the path in front, and I'm writing as I go.
Yeah. They kind of are talking amongst themselves, and as you approach, one of them kind of points off to you. How does Thofar react to him approaching the group?
Correct. Yeah, that would be my immediate that would be my immediate thing to do would be I notice that someone's walking up. So I go ahead and because I feel as though not knowing what's going on currently, what his intention is, so I immediately want to intercept and stand in front.
Okay. So you'll see one of the Fremen kind of block you from getting any closer.
Oh, pardon me. I just wanted to say hello.
What's
You?
how tall? How tall
And
are
I-
you again? I'm sorry.
I'm like 5'7", 5'8". Not
Oh,
really.
okay.
And I
Okay.
just go, do you understand what I'm saying? I don't know what language they're speaking. Were the Fremen speaking among themselves in our same language or in their own language?
No, they were using their own language.
Okay.
Oh,
Like,
language.
so I just go, do you understand what I'm saying?
I just give him a nod without saying any words.
Oh, very well. Hoku Nord. I'm very excited to be here on your planet. It's quite lovely. Um, looking forward to learning a lot about it.
Real quick, I just want to know: am I in my studies, not studies, but in growing up, are taught this universal language outside of our own?
Yeah. Yeah, there is a mysticism that is revered as far as the common tongue is considered. The most of the myths that you grew up with are told in this common tongue.
Okay, so I have an understanding of the language then.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a dagger, right?
Yes.
You're one of the people with the dagger.
He is.
So I'm
Yes, I
like,
would be. Yes.
so I kind of look down and I'm like, you seem to be very important. I've note that only a few of you have that. What looks to be a ceremonial dagger. Is that accurate? And like I'm talking to him, but my hand is on the notepad
Yeah.
with my pencil. Like, is that and I'm looking at him in the eyes. I'm just like, is that accurate?
Why are you writing?
Oh, it's and I show him. I'm like, it's what I do. See, I'm a doctor, and I love one thing I adore is learning new things about cultures. I'm a firm believer in learning about the universe.
You can see that there's a dissected image of the still suit as far as like what he considers it, uh, to how each part fits into the other. Like he's trying to dissect the suit without even having put it on or felt it. And it's 75% accurate, you would say, just from looking at it.
I look back. I look at the as I glance over and I see that and I see those notes. Um, I look back at the group and I say in our language,
Hmm.
"What is doctor?"
You see a couple of shrugs, uh, and one of the women steps forward and looks down at like your pelvic area and just like, maybe in your tongue, maybe something to do with that.
So, and so
You
as
think
you
some
see
of
that I
us would be
motion,
awesome?
yeah. So I motion on my hips and you know to look back to try to acknowledge, and I look back. I go, "Um, why is suit so important for you?"
It's well, it's something new. It's something different. It's I've never seen something like this before. Not anywhere on the planet where we're from. It's quite a marvel, considering it seems, based on my review and calculations, that this is what keeps you guys going
And
alive.
then I start I and I repeat going, and then I start thrusting my hips a little bit. Is
Oh,
this what you mean?
is this a chance or a welcome? Oh, well, routine for the good journey ahead? Is that something? Pelvic thrusts, and I I started writing it.
So we're in the middle of thrusting at each other.
And then he does that. I go, oh, and I just start pelvic thrusting back. And
you just see the woman kind of looks at you and she nods. I told you.
So this is what doctors do. And I just keep...
And I stop and I go, no, oh. And I look around. I'm like, see, we doctors, we try to take care of people if they're hurt or they need medicine, or some of us learn, we try to be an educational resource. Sorry. We try to help people learn good.
Help people learn good. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I know.
What you're giving me, that's what my doctor's seeing.
Yeah.
I need to spell this out a little better.
Yeah.
So I turn back and I look back at the group. I go, medicine, doctor. Doctor works with medicine, is what it sounds like, is what I say to them in our language.
And you see them all nodding to whatever he said to them.
Yeah. So I look back, more intrigued now that you're writing. You go, and would this suit help other people? Is that why you're writing this down?
Well, I don't know much about it, but I mean, I don't know how accurate this is. By all means, we have a long journey ahead. I'd be more than willing to show you, but it's from what I can tell, it seems like those suits could probably help the folks here on Arrakis to survive out there in the harsh sands.
A young aide comes rushing up the ramp, bows to all of you. Master Michigan, the ornithopters are ready.
Oh, we get to ride in helicopters. In ornithopters.
Ornithopter?
Yeah, and they lead you outside to where they have these dragonfly-looking ships. They have these bulbous kind of 1980s helicopter cockpits in the front, and then these long cylindrical bodies, and you can see that there are these 6 propeller blades that are just kind of folded back along the back of what would be the spine of this body. Each ornithopter can hold about 6 or 7 people, 8 at the most, and so you guys get split up. Devil and Vera go into one with Russell and a few of the Fremen. Thofar, you and a couple of the females go with the good doctor and a couple of the other Fremen. So you're more or less evenly split up. And again, you notice that these guys are not dressed for desert travel. But from one ornithopter to the other, you see the 6 blades kind of pop up slightly, and they split out 3 and 3 on either side, and one by one they start kind of going up and down in their segmented. Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah. My character Thofar would want to actually be with Jeff's character because he has now piqued his interest.
Oh yeah,
so
you are.
I just want to make sure that. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. But you see the other ornithopter just start to fly. It just picks itself up. The segmented rotary blades, instead of flying around like a helicopter would, just kind of go up and down like fast hummingbirds. And the 3 pairs just kind of propel it up, and you see that they slightly tweak here and there. They angle themselves so they can not only keep it at level, but also keep it at level as they start to ascend. And then you feel the kind of rocky shake as your ornithopter follow suit. And you can see out the window the fact that you are now ascending into the sky.
I'm pressed to the window. If there's a window, I'm pressed to it like a little kid.
Yeah.
My
I'm writing notes.
My eyes are kind of bugged out at the moment because this is a surreal feeling.
Yeah.
Probably the highest I've ever been has been on the Sandworm, and hasn't been that high up either.
Yeah.
So, but I feel the actual vibration coming from the actual ornithopter that we're on, right?
Yeah.
It's like is it like a low hum, or is it like you can feel it as you're on it? Correct.
There is nothing low about these. These are old, like first, second gen, third gen ornithopters. You hear the engine like roaring inside the cockpit.
Okay.
It is it is loud, and you do have to kind of yell slightly to get your words across.
At first, it's a little bit shocking considering that we're high up. However, I do take the actual vibration and the feel, the roaring of all this as though it's a rushing through the desert on top of an old man. Well, old man in the desert, the maker.
The maker.
So yeah, the maker. So I look at the rest of the group because I imagine everybody else is a little shocked by this.
One of them,
that's with me.
One of the girls has her face pressed up against one of the portholes and she's just staring out, mouth agape.
Yeah. And I just yell out, "Shahalud, Shahalud!" and I start laughing because of the fact of how this is feeling right now.
Yeah.
And I start yelling out, "Shahalud" in the sky, because this is exactly what I feel like is happening.
Yeah. And then a couple of them nod. You see one of them vomit in the corner.
Oh, that's wonderful. Vomit.
Wait.
My
wait,
friend
so he vomits. Sorry.
My Fremen friend, whose name I don't know. How amazing is this? Fascinating. What's wrong with your face?
I see that he's vomit, so I go immediately to that. I go immediately to them, and almost like it's. I'm more upset at the situation that he actually threw up, not the fact that that's all happened.
So,
and you know,
I see him throw up when I turn around.
Yeah.
I put my notebook down, and I go over. I run over there.
Yep.
As much as I can on the copter. I'm like, I'm like, please, my Fremen friend, can you give me a little bit of space?
The one who threw up just kind of looks up at you so far, and he just like shakes his head. I don't understand the sensation. I can't control it.
So I tell him to slow your breathing, and I go ahead and I put the mask back over him so that he can get to the liquid, to the actual nozzle, and I just say, breathe in, take life, and just calm nerves. And I'm just literally just holding him in, still upset at the fact that life has been drained out of him, literally.
Yeah.
That's how I'm feeling right now, but I'm trying to calm him down.
Are you saying this in your language?
I'm saying this in my language, yes.
Okay.
So you just hear him talking to each other.
As a doctor looking at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Do I agree with it?
Let's have you. Do you want to roll, or do you just want to? Because it's not going to be a difficult test.
So what are you saying? To use a momentum instead?
No, I'm just saying like if you want to roll, you can to earn some more momentum.
Okay.
But otherwise, there's no real difficulty to this test.
I mean, it's good to get momentum, right?
Maybe, yeah,
always,
sure, if you want to use it.
Always treat momentum like spice. So
would this count as emergency medicine or no?
Sure, it can count as emergency medicine.
Okay, so
another thing I have. Yeah, we'll do that, and duty, I think, is the best drive for this.
Oh, so that's my lowest one. Cool.
Or do you want faith? What do you think would drive him more in this moment?
Well, how would faith apply to? I'm trying to think of how faith would apply to.
I'm just using faith because of your imperial conditioning.
Oh, true.
So
Okay.
you might have faith in what has been
Not inflicting harm on a human.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
Because I could see either one of them.
Yeah, because duty is it's. I mean, I think duty makes more sense as a doctor.
Okay. So we'll go with duty. That'll put your target number at 11.
Okay. An 8 and a 6.
Okay. So the 8 is a regular success. The 6 counts as a critical, so you're up to 6. Momentum, unless you want to use some of that.
I would like to use. I'm going to use 1.
Okay.
To tell me if I'm using this right, because this is the first time we're using momentum. But
yeah.
I'm gonna, given that this is a weird system that they're using, I want to try to give myself the extra verification that if they're doing something wrong, that I kind of have a better idea of how the system works and what benefit it's giving them versus not in the nausea.
Okay, so you want to try to obtain information.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can ask one question about the current situation, whether that be the issue with him vomiting, the issue with Kenny calming him down, or trying to figure out what led him to vomit in the first place. Or if you can think of something else based on the situation that I haven't thought of, that also works as well.
Well, because the whole reason for the roll is to figure out if him covering his mouth and what he's using is something that's going to benefit the nausea or hurt the nausea more so.
Okay.
Because I want to try to get him to stop throwing up to feel better.
Yeah.
So I guess the question would be, given my degree of training, can I kind of surmise what the mask is for, what the tube is for? And if so, will this benefit or be more of a hindrance, causing more vomiting?
Yeah. The rushing back towards him and seeing Thofar talk him down and his breathing start to normalize and slow down. You can see that as he's moving the mask back up, there's nothing in there that reminds you of anything that you've dealt with as far as like what a mask would do. There's a little tube that looks like it's around the same place as the mouth would be, and then there's another little tube that looks like an oxygen delivery system, but the suits have no way of producing oxygen, visibly at least. But you rolled enough to realize that the ones that would go in the nose aren't producing oxygen, they're extracting. So it looks like the mask would help him. There's something there that just doesn't make sense to you, but seeing him put the mask back on and seeing the rest of them put their masks back on as well, you have to assume that there's something in there that is going to help them.
That seems like a good idea. You should listen to your friend here. That's going to make you feel better. It's common for folks who is their first time on one of these things.
As everybody else is putting up their mask, and as I hear nerves providing that, as what he's saying, instead of me putting the mask on, I pull it further down and actually expose it so that he can actually see what is inside the mask itself. And I look over to him and I go, bring up your book.
You see me light up, and I go running back. I'm like, "You'll find," and I go over there and I grab the book, and I'm like, I look at it. I'm like, "Yes, I did notice the 2 tubes. So that one, I'm guessing, goes in the nose area. Is that?"
And I start pointing towards the information he has there. I imagine that I can understand. Like, we've spoken the language. I don't understand what he wrote because I imagine I'm not the common tongue is not something that I would learn written.
Right.
It's more just speaking. Correct.
Yeah.
So what he wrote is just straight up gibberish to me at that point. Just looking at it, I can only go based off of his diagram. So, and I start pointing towards the tubes. I say, these tubes are for life, and for our life, and the tubes for the nose. These tubes extract or remove, take life. And I start looking, and I look back at I look at the group. I go, "What's another word for life?"
They think about it, and one of them is like, "Oh, they might call it water."
My eyebrows go up. I go, "Water, yes, water."
Oh, so it's a recycling system. It takes the water and but what? And it keeps you cool. Is that how this works?
Provides water.
Oh,
This provides water, takes water from us, provides it back to us.
oh,
This is life.
so it is a recycling system. Fascinating. It seems like it must take your sweat. That's the only other water
sweat.
source I can think of.
Sweat,
Water from skin.
sweating. Okay,
Right.
yes. And I look back and I say he's from sweating. Should I tell him about the yeah, that part?
Some people are nodding. Yeah.
Also, not just from sweating, but from all parts of body.
Oh, so there's a filtration system for the urine deposits and the
And
rectal.
I lean into him. I go, water, life comes from everywhere.
Oh, there's rectal stuff too. Okay.
Butt
and I
stuff.
update the there's butt stuff.
Butt stuff. He writes butt stuff.
I'm like, interesting. Thank you. And I kind of do like I don't know if I've studied because I don't know anything about the Fremen.
Mhm.
You said there was not much on them, so I just kind of do thank you, friend. Like I do like this weird gesture, like
Right,
it's like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Mhm.
Right, he does that. He does that, and I want to check to see if this is something that he's actually doing as what's the word I'm looking for? I'm taking it as a ritual of honor because obviously I've never met this person before, so I'm trying to surmise if what he's doing is a gesture of gratitude or honor.
Mhm.
I hope you
Because
succeed.
then that
was a short episode.
Yeah.
It looks like it. It looks like it.
Yeah.
There's there's no ill intent there.
Yeah. Oh, I see that, and I put one hand over my chest and I actually spit on the ground.
Oh, I right. And I do like a spit, but it's like a like a like I'm like the daintiest spit like you ever freaking seen.
I laugh like it just, and I literally, as he does that, I can't help but you have to hold it in. I can't help but hold that in because that was in even in our that was pretty good. I say that was pretty good. And I pat him.
Some of the
on
Fremen with
the
him
shoulders.
start laughing.
Yeah. Well, I got a question.
Sure.
would this be considered me being obtaining information from the Fremen, or would that be out of off? Is the only way to obtain information from a roll?
No. It's just you roll when you feel like you need to pull more than what you're getting.
Okay, so I want to use my putting theory into practice talent.
Okay.
Which one for those watching, once per scene, when you obtain information, you can create a trait for free, which must represent an advantage, opportunity, or weakness you identified with the information you received. I want to see if there's any weaknesses in the suit mechanics.
So
to see if maybe I can work and improve something with them.
You're creating a truth, basically. That's what creating a trait means.
Okay. So that means that I would create a weakness to the suit?
If you want to create that he has a weakness in his suit, this is the point to do it in.
Oh, but I don't want to do that to him. I can see where this benefits.
Right.
Because if you're fighting somebody or dealing with an enemy, you can create a weakness. Now I understand how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, never mind.
So, but you could create something that create a truth that is advantageous for you, or that you can make an opportunity from.
So I could say something. Would that truth would be if there's a suit in my size, or something like that? Is that what you mean? But how would the advantage come into play? Like potentially me finding ways to improve on the suit, since it's directly related to information about the suit.
Yeah, you could create a truth that given a suit, you could improve upon the design of it.
I'm going to do that.
Okay.
I think that fits my character.
So if you ever get your hands on a suit, you know that you can improve upon the design of it.
No butt stuff.
No, always the butt stuff.
Always the butt stuff.
Deeper butt stuff.
It takes a while to don this kind of armor because of the amount of rectal that you have to go through.
Yeah.
Now, is this something that it's just a personal thing, or it's something that I can say to another character or another NPC?
Until you get your hands on a suit and improve it, it's theoretical. So,
got it. Okay, now I understand the putting theory into practice. Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, understand. Mm-hmm. I start laughing. I'm like, haha, yes, spit. Name? What is your name? I told you mine. Hoku. Nur. Name?
Oh, no, Hoku. Hoku, right? That's I'm
Hoku.
Pronouncing this correct?
Yes.
Hoku. Wow. So far,
friend. And I spit again.
And you see a couple of the other Fremen kind of gasp.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just one spit, not two.
Oh,
I don't have to do that every time.
We appreciate your previous gesture, but you don't want to just waste life like that.
Right. Sorry. Yes, no more spitting. Understood.
No. And I look back at the group like he's a strange man.
They nod.
Are you feeling better?
The sickly one kind of nods.
Continue deep breaths with the system, and try not to keep your head down too much. I give him the doctor advice.
Mm-hmm.
Just and you'll be all right.
And you feel the ornithopter start to descend.
Oh, goody! And I sit down and I look out the window again.
Yep.
So far, is this where you live? And I look outside. Are we by a city or anything?
There's no city.
Or a settlement?
There's no city. There's just a formation of rocks.
Oh,
And
those.
and do I recognize this formation?
Oh yeah, this is what would lead to the siege.
Oh, I've kind of got a thing with rocks. I'd love to take a closer look at those. Is that possible?
I don't see any harm on looking at rocks.
I love rocks.
Well,
It's
this
kind of.
is actually the beginning of our journey to my home.
Oh, exciting! And I write down. I'm like, they use rocks to mark their way.
It took you guys maybe a couple of hours, first to find a maker large enough for your group, but also to trek down to where they are setting up to create Arakeen. And it's maybe been 20 or 30 minutes of you flying, and you've already come back to the siege.
What you? That's I had. This is my
Yeah.
first time out.
Okay,
So
so
just
this
to
is
show
about
you-
30.
just-
So
Just to show you how fast these ornithopters move.
yeah, and so I survey that. Given the time, I go, you have so much. This is so much faster than riding the old man. I say it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say it exactly like that.
Interesting. So you use older gentlemen to travel as mounts?
I look at him very confused.
Yeah.
Old and
Shai Hulud. See, the maker, I believe, is what you call it.
oh, see, old man is an elderly person in our language. So you said that you rode an old person.
Oh, old man in the desert. Shai Hulud is rough translation to old man in the desert.
Okay. So not weird stuff. Got it. Nice. You see, you just scratch out stuff.
Yeah.
And I say, and I look at him. I'm like, I look at the rest of the group. I go, this is a very strange man. It's a very
And again, they all nod.
yeah, like this is. It kind of reminds me of Bug's Life. It's like we're having two different conversations of the same words, and we're like, okay, this is a very strange group of people.
Yeah. But the ornithopters land. If there is nothing else that you would like to learn from each other, we can move on to the next scene. So you will lose a point of momentum.
Okay.
Well, before you do that, I actually wanted to use information based on the fact that we're on this ornithopter. I am genuinely curious as to any resources of water. If they have anything that looks like protection from the sun, or at least looks like reserves that would be able to hold water, I'll use that momentum.
Okay. Obtain information. Once they land, you do see the pilot kind of reach down and pull out a canteen and hand it to Hokunur.
And I grab it and I kind of put it in like. Well, do I see him looking at it or?
Yeah, he has a canteen that he's given, and he has some kind of cloak. That has like a reflective sheen to it. But that's about all of the protection that they have.
When I see you looking, I just grab the canteen. I'm like, life inside.
That is all you carry?
Unfortunately, I don't have one of those suits. This is all they gave us.
Well, hopefully we'll make this a short visit. Keep to the shadow, keep to the shade, and just try not to be out into the sun. Try not to be out in the open for too long.
Very well.
And I just
Thank you so far.
so when we get out from the when we get from the thopter, do I there I just want to make sure that I don't hear any rumblings, anything that no smells, smell of cinnamon. I don't want to make sure there is nothing in this area that would tip me off that something's coming.
No, it's a typical scent for the siege.
Okay.
You can hear some of the rustling from one of the Muad'Dibs.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, no. Sun is high in the sky, and slight breeze.
So I put the cowl back on, put the mask over, and I motion for the group along with Hoku just to follow us.
And
I put the cloak on.
You all meet back up. You can see that Michigan, Hentuck, and Byers are all trying to put their hands up to their eyes to protect themselves from the glare of the sun. That they're trying to pull their hoods of their cloak as low as they can. But yeah, even as the Fremen are moving about the rocks, almost as easily as some of the Muad'Dib, the rest of you are just finding hard times trying to get purchase. Like, you don't understand how fast they're moving through this rocky terrain, but also like why they're not even like looking down at anything to find sure footing. Like, it's instinctual for them.
I want to take a look at the rocks and get kind of a better understanding of their makeup and see if maybe there's a way that they're traveling to certain rocks versus what I'm doing.
Yeah. It's gonna be a difficulty 0, so you don't need to roll if you don't want to.
Okay. I get momentum though if I do, right?
I mean, you could earn momentum. Yes,
I could. I have a geology. I have a geology focus. So
look at you.
Look at you studying rocks.
Unfortunately, this will not fall under understanding. This will fall under move.
Okay, but I disagree because I have intense study, and once per scene, I can use my understand skill on a single skill test that instead of using the other one.
Oh. Someone
and I'm
read
counted
the book.
as having focus for the test. So I could technically have used it for not necessarily even geology. I'd still get focus on it.
Yeah. So you're gonna use your intense study to shift it over to understanding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man.
To be understanding and truth, I don't think any of the other drives fits.
Yeah, I would say truth.
Okay. So that's gonna be a target number 15.
I got a nat 20 and an 8.
So,
nat 20 is not good.
It is not. That's but you did earn 1 momentum.
Okay.
But now, since you were the first one to roll on that 20 in this system, this is what happens. This is what we call getting a what's it called? A complication.
Oh snap!
Yeah. So that also gets me threat point.
Mazel tov.
Yeah.
And let me see.
I'm all about showing everybody the little things about the system in our 3-hour session here.
Correct.
Yeah. Everything, including how we gonna die later.
Yeah, how we gonna die?
How we gonna die? So, it is an understanding complication. So you could choose. So when you attempt a skill test, any dice roll of a 20 causes a complication. This doesn't mean that you failed. You can suffer complications and still succeed if you get enough successes. But each complication does create an extra problem and may be inconvenient, painful, or embarrassing. Um, so you could choose that it was a little too complicated for you, that you are confused by their movement. You could choose a misinformation complication, where you think you know what they're doing, but you really don't. Uh, you overthink the situation. Uh, you feel like you're just uninformed, or you could feel that this is something that's just a little too vague for you to really get a grasp on.
I think that fits more since it's technically a move. Technically, it was supposed to be a move focus.
Yeah.
So I that's one of my lower ones. So I figured that would probably fit with that a little more.
Okay. Now, just so you're aware, the complication is not something that just kind of appears and then you are free of it. Like this is
Oh no, I know.
this is something
I
that's
see
gonna stay here for a bit.
I see it. I see that piece of garbage on my character sheet.
Yeah. But you can also buy it off for 2 more threat.
No, bro.
Okay.
I already gave you a threat.
Nah.
I'm not giving you more damn threat.
Okay. All right.
So what do I?
Nah.
So what's the comp? So what comp? Do I write it in here? What complication is it?
Anything having to do with Fremen movement is just going to confuse you.
Okay, Fremen. Okay.
Which is going to be so much fun when they start to do their sand walk.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is gonna be great when we have to try to navigate through the sand. I'm gonna have to watch you now. To watch.
It fits the character though. This
Yeah.
complication fit the character that I created perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's gonna be great. And I now have to be a babysitter, which is so not my character's forte whatsoever. Which is gonna be great.
So great. You go through the tunnels, and every so often you just hear him just bang his head against something, bang his shin, a knee, an elbow. There's just everybody else has seemed to have gotten the careful cadence that you're traversing these tunnels through, except for him.
And I usually I would be in the front, but I started noticing, as you said, I started noticing that, so I just actually start hanging back to get closer to him.
Mhm.
I look over. I'm like, I did not take you for someone who would be this clumsy.
Well, we did just meet. You'll get to learn I'm very clumsy.
Okay, I need you to get in front of me.
Oh, okay.
And as we're moving through these rocks, I am literally just I I I try not, and I say this, and I say with respect, as I say this with respect, and I literally grab, um, just I grab the top part of what he is wearing
Yeah.
to hold him up, so it's almost like his feet are not touching the floor as much, so it doesn't take as much movement,
Okay.
or it doesn't take as much force to push himself from the rocks.
Yeah.
Which would put more weight on me to do this.
Yes. So that will let you roll a difficulty 1 move. And would you say this is duty or power for you?
It wouldn't be duty because that doesn't fall under that. And I know I'm saying this as a detriment to myself because power is my lowest stat.
I know, but that's why I asked. Do you think this is something that he would take as a duty to himself, or is it something that just he is using his own power to kind of?
No, he would be using his own power. As it stands right now, this is, I kind of obvious. My curiosity has taken a liking to this person,
Yeah.
so I'm tend to be a little more flexible. So and also considering that this is somebody that's part of the group, the last thing we need to do is lose him to a bunch of rocks. So
Especially when he's
I
a
will
doctor.
Weakness.
I'm sorry.
Especially because he's a doctor.
Right, because and plus he's clumsy. So right now I take it as doctors are clumsy.
Yep.
So this is but doctors do help save lives. Like I do see that doctors do help with medicine or do help with hurt with pain, which does speak to me. So
Yeah.
this is something outside of my duty that I'm doing. So yeah, I'll
Okay.
go ahead and I'll use that. But Swift wouldn't be working. That
No.
I know that's one of one of the parts of my focus, but that's not part of that. So
You could have short footing. It looks like you only have 3 focuses instead of 4.
oh, I think so because I accidentally put shield
Yeah.
fighting in there, which I know that that's not the case. So yeah, if you don't mind, I'll put that in.
Okay. There are 2 different methods of character creation that are described in the book. One is that you create a character before you even start, which is the route that we took. And one is that you throw some points into the character sheet, but you build the character as you play the game. So this is a little bit of that. So short footing, so that at least that way even though your target number has become 10, because your power is so low, at least now if you roll a 6 or lower, we'll consider that a critical success.
Okay.
So you have 2 dice. It is a difficulty 1. You have some momentum in case you want to buy off an extra dice.
I am so glad. I rolled a 14 and a 2, so I just made it.
Just made it, yeah. So you do earn a point of momentum because you got a critical success. And that extra success will go into your momentum pool. Do you want to use it or pool it?
I want to look at this. The information I want to gather is he the only person I'm gonna have to worry about throughout this whole entire endeavor when it comes to maneuvering and navigation of not only the rocks, but I'm gonna take it as in general.
Yes, he is the only one that you're going to have to worry about.
Great. Just great.
If you wanted to use up some more of the momentum that you have, you can use 2 of them to establish a new truth of the scene, a new trait. So that could help you, or you could just keep the pool at 4 right now.
Oh, I still have the pool at 4?
Yeah.
So a trait of myself, yeah, nothing has come to me just as of yet.
Okay.
Because there's nothing that's I'm doing right now that would provide a trait unless
Or truth of the scene.
Truth of the scene.
Yeah.
I don't want to help but
Oh
I
yeah.
have one in my head already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Truth of the scene is that I feel like this person's going to be dependent on me for surviving.
Well, I mean,
That's my truth.
That's not really what the truth is, what he's talking about. Like, for example, with me, when I did the thing, it was if I can get my hands on one of those suits, I can probably improve it.
Yeah.
So, like, your truth of the scene could be, I mean, Will, do you mind if I say?
Go ahead.
Like, the truth of the scene could be, I think with enough practice, he'll probably get the hang of this eventually. Am I wrong with that?
No, that's one way to use it. Another way could have been I am somebody.
I got one.
I am somebody that others can rely on.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I got one. Yeah, I was gonna say that it's reliable, considering that now, I look at it as since everybody can see that, because nobody else in my group, as far as the Fremen, we tend to say, if you were taught from the moment you can walk how to maneuver, so if you can't do it, you can't do it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But with me, I'm starting. Considering that we have to bridge, I noticed that this person is not trying to be hostile towards us.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not looking. I'm trying to go outside of my boundary. So if anything, if nothing else, I can be reliable to the eyes, not from the Fremen, but at least to the group this new group that has come in. That I'm a reliable person.
Yeah. So on your character sheet, you'll see now that you have personality traits reliable to others.
Mhm.
So,
Did you? I can put that.
I put it in.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So now, if you need to help somebody else, we can consider the difficulty a little lower. So that's what the creating a trait means.
Got it.
Okay.
So it helps you create a trait that you can add to your character, so that in the future something becomes easier for you.
So should I put something for mine then, like for that other thing, like inventive? Would that be
Yeah,
okay?
or tinkerer,
Tinker. Okay.
Tinkerer?
either works.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah,
Done and done.
you spend your time traveling through the tunnels, and you get to the siege, and you see that there's no one there. Some of the tents look like they've been ransacked. Um, some of the extra water that you had been saving up looks like it's been taken. And there are signs of
Oh.
struggle.
Oh,
Oh.
this does not look good.
I look at, because here's the thing. Out of this whole thing, I'm not the lead. I'm not the one that's leading this expedition. It was this meetup. It was somebody else, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I immediately looked to him. He's obviously for sure. He's obviously saying something as far as orders. He's already starting to send orders to us.
Oh yeah. People are he's already like quietly, not silent, non-verbal orders, and he's just kind of pointing, giving the hand gestures and whatnot. And you see that he pulls out his Kindle and motions for
Yep.
you to follow him.
I look over at Oku. I stay here. I pull out my Kindle and I start following. Pursuit.
You get to the kind of central area of where the siege is. Everybody just kind of communes with each other and whatnot. And you see the bodies of two of the people that were trained alongside you. Their still suits have been removed, and it looks like their water has been taken from them. Their bodies are desiccated. They look like they've been dried out for some time.
For at least the amount of time that we've been gone, from what I can gather.
At least.
Oh. I look over. Oh, who is the leader that I'm following? I would like if I have a name for him.
His name is Mastiv.
Oh, Steve.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. He is not the leader of the siege, but he is about third or fourth in line as far as commanders go.
Mm-hmm.
He's tempered, but he also has like no aspirations to become more than what he is. So he's been content to just be where he is. He normally is a little bit jovial on the jovial side. He tends to want to be more of an instructor than a leader, and so he'll normally ask for input rather than give out orders, because he weighs in what everybody has to say. This is one of the few times where you've seen him just kind of instinctively get into the situation and just actually be this commander.
I look at him. I meet in as trying to be as silent with our conversation as possible. Is this a raiding party?
He nods.
I go ahead and I try to investigate the scene as quickly as I can to see if I can determine where these steps have come from or going to. I mean, have left from this scene, because they've obviously dropped them here. They use death suits on them, so
Yeah.
I imagine now I want to know the direction that they're going, or at least if we can tell the direction.
Sure. Let's have that be a move, and I'll let you choose between duty and justice. What do you think is going to drive you more?
Oh, justice for sure. Literally, what it writes on my sheet is what we do will return to us.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what's going to be happening.
Okay.
So
So your target number is 12.
yeah,
There's no focuses that
no focus.
fit, so
2 6s.
2 6s. Nice. We'll say it was only a difficulty 1, so that earns you 1 momentum. Your pool's up to 3.
I want to use the information.
Okay, you're gonna use it.
I'm going to use the information. Has this? I want to use and determine this. Who would be is this an MO of a raiding party that we've been aware of or that we've been dealing with lately?
So, for your regular test, you find that this is in fact a raiding party. It looks like it must have been around easily 24 people. And it looks like they came in from one of the escape tunnels that only somebody in your seat would know about. And so for your obtained truth, this is definitely not one of the raiding parties for any of the sieges that you have dealt with in the past. This definitely looks like it was somebody new.
Right. And based off of what you just said, that this could be an inside job.
Mhm.
That's what I'm gathering from what you're saying, because this tunnel is only people that are aware of this tunnel
Mhm.
are people that are in our tribe.
Correct.
I'm sorry?
Correct. Yes, you are correct.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know why it was just like cutting you off. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So, I look. With all this information, I look over at Steve. I go, who could have told them? He goes, who was left here when we were gone? I'm trying to remember. Well, I'm trying to remember if. Better yet, sorry. Where is everybody else? And because I've only seen these two, have you seen anybody?
Some of the other Fremen in your group come back and they meet up with you in the central area. Nobody else has seen any bodies. It's like people were just taken, and so was the water.
And we're all together there now, right?
Yeah.
Where is the rest of the group that is not Fremen?
They are where you left them, at the little outcropping of rocks that overlooks the siege itself.
Are they able to see where we're at right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. Easily.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, you can see them, they can see you.
Right. I look at the rest of the group and I'm asking. I'm only going to ask this once. Who knew this was about to happen?
Everybody kind of just looks at each other.
I just want to see if I able to notice anything out of the ordinary as far as nervousness. Anybody that I can tell is trying to hold back information.
Ooh. Yeah, so that'll be, I think, an understanding roll. And truth or justice, I think make the most sense.
Justice, yeah, for sure. Justice, understanding. So that's that would be 11.
Target number 11.
2 rolls.
I mean, you do have a couple momentum points if you want to buy extra dice. You can.
Yeah, I do want to buy extra dice.
Okay.
Because I rolled horrible just now. A 14 and a 13.
All right. So normally you spend the momentum before you roll, but that's fine.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's fine.
Sorry about that. I got a little happy.
You got yeah. So you spend one more momentum to buy 1 dice because that's all you can afford.
Okay.
Because the price
I'll go ahead.
increases exponentially.
I'm sorry.
The price increases exponentially. So 1 costs 1. 1 extra dice costs 1. 2 extra dice costs 3, and then 3 extra dice costs 6.
Wow.
So.
Well, I got an 11 on that one roll then, so I guess 1 success.
1 success. So you see that one of the women, the only woman that has a crysknife, will not meet your eyes. Like she keeps looking around, like she's waiting for somebody to step forward. But anytime that she's looking in your direction, she is looking either at your chest or beyond one of your shoulders, but she's never making eye contact with you.
And can I have her name?
Shara.
I walk up to Ashara. And I stand in front of her, expecting for her to look at me.
She lowers her head respectfully. So far.
Is there anything you would like to say?
We should find whoever did this.
I look over. I want to know something. The 2 people that were there that were trained, that well, obviously are down there. They trained with me. Did they happen to train with anybody else here?
No, nobody else. Everybody else that trained with you and them it looks like they were taken.
Okay. I want to, like I know that for the most part. Okay. In back of my mind, I'm keeping an eye on her just in case.
Yeah.
The trail, and I look at everybody. I go, well, Steven, myself have found that this trail leads out to the tunnel that to our tunnel that leads out this way, and I'm pointing out to the direction where we found it, that tunnel, that exit tunnel.
You see people starting to talk amongst themselves.
And I look over at well, Steven. I ask him, do you want me to lead that party?
He nods, and you see him motion for the Outlanders to come with him.
Do you think that's wise?
We cannot leave them here. We have to take them.
Understood. So I motion. I look at the group, the Outworlders.
Yeah.
I look at Hoku and I motion for them to come towards us.
Yeah, and they start climbing down.
Oh God.
Would you like to try your hand at climbing by yourself, or do you want to just jump down?
If I look, can I obviously look and try to deduce if I jump down how bad it would be versus climbing down?
Jumping down, it's maybe a 12-foot drop. So
yeah, I'm gonna climb down.
Okay.
I'm gonna use how much? What's the cost to get by dice?
You have 1 momentum in your pool, so you could buy 1 dice.
How do I only have one?
Remember, the pool is shared.
Oh,
That's the caveat.
oh,
Yeah.
Oh, here I thought I had 5 because I was counting my own.
No.
Oh, okay, great, Kenny, awesome. All right,
Oh, don't
gonna
blame
use
me,
it-
you
I'm gonna
clumsy
use the-
buffoon.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think I put more into the pool than you did, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the one to climb down because I don't want to
Okay.
die
So
on this desolate planet.
remember, you could
I'm gonna let him go
also
before me.
buy extra dice with threat. You can mix and match.
No.
Okay.
I'm not
Okay.
gonna do that. No.
We're not giving you that.
I'm just saying. I'm giving you options. So it's
I know.
gonna be a move skill.
Good. Worst one. Go on. Second worst one.
I'm thinking power is the one that makes most sense here.
Okay.
And your worst skill.
That's not.
Oh, okay.
No.
So it's gonna be a target of 11.
Oh, good. And 3 dice, right?
You got 3 dice.
You got this. I believe in you, Kyle.
No, I don't. I have the opposite of this. I have bro. I'm dead. I die.
No,
This is
no,
where I
no.
am.
Just, what did you say? What did
I
you
got a 12. I got a 16, and I got another 20.
You got a 20, so you got another complication.
And it happened to be with movement again. I can't freaking move, bro.
So, is there any way? Because I did this on purpose, hoping that there's a way that I can save him from this catastrophe that's about to happen to him.
Well, let's figure out what his complication is going to be.
Obligation is.
Unless you want to buy it off with 2 threat.
Dude, I might have to buy it off.
Just do it.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
buy
want
it
you to
off.
have another complication.
Okay.
Yeah, for involving movement.
Yeah.
Because I already have Freeman movement as 1.
Yeah, because the one that I'm looking at, the complication I'm looking at right now is that you are slowing down. You've got to move slowly from now on.
I already move slow, bro. I don't want to move even slower.
Okay. So 2 threat.
Congratulations, bro. I've given you 3 threat.
Oh, look at that! And who has given him threat? Looks like he's giving him more than me.
Sorry that I'm not native to this planet.
It's all right,
You
bro.
know, I could have just hunched you over my shoulder, just taking you down.
We all have our shortcomings.
Mm-hmm. Mine's walking.
Yeah, but you see that
Mine's
the young Mentat, the young Bene Gesserit, and even the youngish kind of swordmaster, they all very easily climb down to the lower level where the siege actually is, and yet this scholarly Suk doctor just cannot find the right rock or the right ledge, and hand and foot go wide, and there's just this almost comical kind of spin as he goes from facing the wall to kind of having his back to the wall, and then it just slides down and collapses and lands on his butt. Definitely a far cry from the Suk Medical Academy.
Yeah.
You were not prepared for this kind of endeavor.
Starting to second guess this adventure crap.
Adventure sucks.
Adventure's the worst. I'd rather just read about this shit.
And write a paper later. So much
Yeah,
safer.
I'll just write a paper on another paper. Fuck this.
So much safer. But all of you have descended. You see Russell, Michigan come over and helps you stand up. You all right, Doc?
Mr. Michigan, I'm never all right. I can't seem to get my feet under me in this land. It's a lot different in books.
Yeah. You get the hang of it.
It seems a little more complicated than what I thought.
Fortunately, there's no inspiration we can get from here. So
No.
I know. I just know Will's smiling. I can't see him, but I know he's smiling.
Yeah. So you
That's my goal. That's my goal in every game I play with Will. I just want to make him smile once.
you make your way down the
Aw.
tunnel. Look at that. You make your way down the tunnels, and you come up on the other end, and just like you imagined, there's just that great sand sea in front of you. You can see what looks to be a discarded thumper in the distance. It's glistening in the sun.
Well, as we walk by though, real quick, because and I don't want to take too much time on it, but I first body I come across, I kneel down and I start trying to see what's going on.
Yeah, you can see the two dead bodies that are there. It looks like they've been drained of all their liquids.
Okay.
So they look desiccated. They look like little alien corpses. It looks like they were Fremen, but there's also still suits that are missing.
Okay.
Somebody made you cafecito, or is that a shot?
Yeah, I got Dune. It's Dune Cafecito.
Oh, the spice.
yeah, the spice is flowing there.
Yeah, that's our Spice Melange.
There we go. Life.
Yeah, life equals cafecito.
Yep.
So I basically just kind of tell the dehydration, stuff like that. Nothing. There's nothing worth really rolling to, per se, to find something something else out of it.
You could always try to roll.
I mean, because it's medicine and it's my thing, so that's why I was like.
It could be an understanding and duty roll.
Okay.
So.
Or could I argue justice with my justice, because my statement of everyone has a right to live and guide their own path.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
Gonna be a target number 14 then for you.
Oh, good. Let's see how this goes. If this was D&D, I'd be rolling amazing.
I know.
All right. I got a 1. I grabbed my crap dice and I got a 1 on it, and I got a 10.
Okay. So
yeah.
that pulls 2 points of momentum into the pool.
I promise not to use it.
No, you can. Listen, you're the one that's going to be dealing with these people fighting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Unless I don't consider them human beings anymore.
But yeah, it looks like they weren't surprised. They don't have a look like this was done to them in a form that they saw coming. Their faces are serene. Their body language looks like, aside from being discarded, like there's no bruising, there's no defensive wounds. Even the puncture at the neck that killed them was done in such a way to not harm the still suit that they were wearing.
Says water is life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so putting theory into practice to create the trait, would I be able to put I guess the trait would be
well, you would need to use a momentum point to obtain information.
Oh, because that's not obtaining information. What I'm doing right now.
No, you just
that's
rolled,
not considered that.
You just rolled to see what happened.
Got it. Okay, never mind. Scratch it. Okay.
The obtain information is when you ask me personally a question about the situation.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Have I seen that something with a mark like that, or have I read anything about something that would leave a mark like that?
You've never, because no one has seen a Chris knife and lived to tell about it. So,
Got it. Okay. Cool.
if you point it out to them, they'll tell you that it was a Chris knife that did it.
Okay. Well, if they're not walking away, like, oh, so it seems that somebody, they didn't see this coming. They look quite peaceful, aside from the hole in the neck. Is this something your kind is familiar with?
As he describes that, I tap the sheath that has the Chris knife that I have. I go, if nothing else, at least they died peacefully. And just continue on. Like at this point, I'm trying to be as respectful, but this is really like this is this right now. Our whole essentially if the worst case scenario is the group of Freemen that is with me now are the only people left alive. So at this moment, I'm trying to make sure that I'm able to at least find, my tribe.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well,
I'm trying
I
to be
get
as
up.
respectful.
No, that's fine. I get up and I just note to myself, oh, so they're not just ceremonial. And I write that down.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, you start walking back out, and you see that in the distance of the tunnel, that bright white light of the sun just starts to get closer and brighter. The hole widens, and you're back outside in the open desert.
And I can see the path that they were taking. Well, did any of the wind take away the path that they were taking, or I see it going towards that thumper?
No, their footsteps go to the thumper, and then they vanish.
So I see nothing outside of that.
Right.
Okay.
Seems to me they must have gotten into that. The thumper, right? Did you say there was one there?
Yeah. A thumper is not a vehicle.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not.
Oh.
No. It's used. It literally causes a. Oh no, he could actually. That would be great. That's a great thing if you say that in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're saying in game.
They went there to that.
And I see because I see that direction that it's coming in. That means that they were calling a sandworm.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. That is what we used to call the Maker.
Okay, so is this another old man thing? What's the Maker?
Oh, I thought you knew what. Okay. Yes, the old man in the desert. Shai Hulud. That calls Shai Hulud.
The worm things?
And I obnoxiously nod my head.
Okay. I know you're going through a lot right now, but you told me earlier in the copter that you rode the old man, which is also the Maker, which is also the worm thing, to us. You ride those things?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to talk about that a lot more, my friends. But right now I know there's more important things. But I'm going to...
Yeah. And I look at the rest. I look at the rest of the Freemen and I'm trying to gauge what's going on with the rest of them because I can't be the only one internally freaking out about what's going on right now.
Oh, not at all. Everyone's kind of looking around. They're trying to find the tracks. Somebody else points out the thumper. The only one that isn't looking around is Ashara.
And I motion to Steve,
Yep.
and I point out that observation.
He turns to look at her for a moment. You can see that she is kind of standing off with the Outlanders. She's standing between the young woman and the young man with the red lips. And as she sees you and Mustiv kind of looking at her, in one swift motion, you see her pull her knife and just stab the young Mentat in the throat.
I rush immediately over.
Where am I in this situation?
Next to Russell, Michigan.
And where is Russell, Michigan, in compared to this loca?
Compared to this loca?
He's maybe like 10 feet away.
Am I facing in the direction of those people?
No.
I'm just wanting to know. No, so
everybody was looking out into the desert, seeing what everybody's doing. They were picking.
Okay.
You could see the Fremen were picking up the thumper, and then you see Ulfar and what looks to be the man in charge, Mustiv, just start looking in a direction, and then Thofar just starts rushing towards where the young Mentat and the young Bene Gesserit are.
Yeah.
I look over.
You see this gush of blood shooting out of the guy's throat as she quickly stabs her not ceremonial knife into his throat and then pulls it out.
I will start moving towards the person that got stabbed.
Okay.
You're moving into that direction? Okay.
All right.
I listen.
That's all
my
good.
thing, bro. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to help you with her. I'll tell you that right now. I literally can't.
Yep.
I literally can't, because unfortunately, you made me think you guys were human. So you being nice to me made me realize you guys aren't subhuman people.
Look at this.
So it's your fault.
So,
my apologies.
For showing generousness and kindness.
you spit at one person and you ruin it for everybody else.
I know. That's all it took. Just spitting. That's all it did. God damn it.
Yeah. But we are now in a combat situation.
Yes, we are.
So there are zones. She has her knife out. She has a central zone, which is where her body is, and then she has either flank. Right now, her right flank has the knife in it. You can always target any zone that you want while you're fighting, and depending on what zone you're attacking, and what defense she has or your opponent has comes into consideration. I have 6 points of threat that I can use. So I appreciate everything you guys have done for me.
Did you get? I only. Oh, that's right, because you started. Because I only gave you 3.
Yeah. Started with 2.
And then I gave you 3.
Yeah.
And then Kenny gave you 1, I think.
Did I give you one?
Remember, you had 2 complications. So.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Each one gives me 1.
Sure. We is a lot of people.
It's me. It was on me. Hey, I gave you 2. Hey, I gave you 2 momentum that you can use for your fight, bro.
I appreciate you.
And I'm going to be doing emergency medicine, so I may be able to get some more for you.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be your farm for momentum points.
Yeah. Just keep doing it, sir.
So, you for the attack sequence is that you're going to choose your target and the asset that you want to use for your attack.
Mm-hmm.
You had your Kindle out. you want to switch out, or do you want to keep the Kinjo?
Where this is such a dishonorable action that this person took. The fact that they took out the Chris knife.
Mhm.
Because if I take it out, it's got to draw blood.
It's got to draw blood.
Yeah, you know what? Considering that this is even as dishonorable as this person is against one of my kind, I'll take the Chris knife out.
Okay. Now we're gonna make opposed checks versus each other. She doesn't have any defensive assets to use, so the difficulty does not increase for you. Let's do a battle for sure. And do you think this is justice or duty for him? Because those are the two that I would choose.
Justice or duty? It's not justice because this is not against one of my own. Is duty. We are. I take it as we are an honorable tribe. So to do something after we essentially given them that we would be taking care of them, and now we've gone against that action.
Yeah.
So that's going against our honor. So yeah, I would take that as duty.
Okay, so that's going to be a target number 15 for you. And you are using your Chris knife, which is a short blade, so your focus comes into effect as well. Oh, and of course, all the practice rolls before were great, and now everything is higher than a fucking 10.
All these practice rolls were great.
But now
So
when it counts,
what's the number? Wait, hold sec. So
yeah, so your target number is 15 because 7 and 8 is 15.
Yeah, 15.
Anything 7 or lower counts as a critical success.
Coolio. So 2 dice. Do we have momentum available?
You have 2 points of momentum, so you could buy a third dice.
I will buy 1.
You're welcome.
Thanks, boo.
All right, so you're rolling 3 dice.
Oh man, all 6s.
Oh,
3 6s.
Okay.
The mark of the beast.
Yeah. So that's 6.
Devil, welcome here.
6 successes. Yeah. All right. So if you win the contest and you successfully attack the enemy, you did win the contest.
I was going to use all his threats.
No,
you stab yourself.
I used my threat to buy dice.
Stab yourself.
All right. So if you successfully attack, the results are as follows: if the enemy is a minor non-player character or minor supporting character, then they are defeated immediately.
Oh.
If the enemy is a notable or major non-player character, then defeating them is an extended task. Each character has an extended task track with a requirement equal to a relevant skill used to track how to defeat the enemy. The relevant skill would have been battle for her, which was 6. And that's how many successes you got. So you defeated her.
I also have a talent, which is to fight someone is to know them. So when I use this talent, I choose a skill. If I win the conflict using that chosen skill, I would gain 2 bonus momentum, which I could use to obtain information or to create a trait. And that would represent some knowledge or insight that you've gained about your opponent. But I don't know if that would turn into this. I don't know if that would be useful here or not.
I'm assuming then that you would have chosen it for battle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's something I had to declare before, and if so, I'll hold that back and then I'll use that another time. But
it's fine.
I just noticed that I have that.
I'll make a note that it counts towards battle only. There we go. So you have 2 bonus momentum. You can use it to obtain information twice, or create a trait that you've learned based on your knowledge or insight about your opponent. They do not get to be pooled, so just be aware of that.
All right.
They
The
have to be used.
information, the information that I want to use during this is okay. Well, the trait that I want to use then, because you said the trait has to be as a truth that I found from this whole
Yeah.
situation, correct?
A truth that you want to establish based on everything that's happened.
Correct. Trust, first instinct.
Okay.
Yeah, because son of a bitch, son of a bitch. Yeah, go with the gut, I guess, if you want to write it that way as well.
About others.
Yeah,
Okay.
first impressions. Oh, not first impressions. How would you write that? I wouldn't want it to be like a long sentence either. Or
Yeah.
can it be a long sentence?
Try to keep it as concise as possible. Like the more succinct you are, the better we understand what the bonus would fall under.
Sure. So trust, I guess, gut feeling on others, or trust gut feeling on others.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. There you go. So you see, as Hokunur rushes forward to try and be of some help, uh, the young Mentat kind of falls forward onto his knees, holding his throat. The young Bene Gesserit girl screams out and just tries to help as well. The young swordmaster pulls out his sword, but almost as quickly as the young Mentat falls forward, the assassin falls back. Where do you think you would have gone with your attack? As Thofar shoots forward and ends this person's life in one fell swoop.
I would go for if that's the case. As far as for the suit itself,
Mm.
I would go for an area that's because it's always trained to go for when if you have the suit is to avoid the suit at all costs in this
Mhm.
motion. But I take if this was for justice, it would have been I would have gone through the suit. But since this is for duty, um, I'll come in and take it to the back of the neck.
Okay. So the body falls backwards. There's blood coming out of her wound. There's blood coming out of his wound.
For her, since she's still wearing the still suit,
Mhm.
I want to be able to pull the cowl over her.
Mhm.
So hopefully that when whatever's coming out, it pulls down into underneath her suit, so that it gets so that it's so that the water, like it's as though we're still trying to filter out that water.
Yeah. Yeah. So for Hoku, it would be understanding, of course,
Right.
or discipline. What do you think fits better?
Well, no, I mean, it's emergency medicine.
Mm.
Okay. But there is a sense of composure that, as clumsy as I am, you see Hoku with a determination, not caring that there's a combat, not caring that there's anything going on.
Yep.
He sees somebody in need and he rushes towards them.
Do you think this would be duty or faith for him? Remember, if you think that you can finagle a different drive, feel free to make an argument, make a case.
I mean, I could.
I'm
I
always
mean, I
going to
get.
give you the two that I think fit the best.
Yeah.
But if you see if you can find an angle,
I think his version of justice would be not letting this person die
okay,
despite this other person's attempt.
okay, that's going to give you a target number of 14. Then 7 and 7.
All right. And you used the 2 momentum points, right?
I used one.
One.
There's one in the pool.
Okay, I want to use that one.
Okay.
Because I want to try to see if I can save this person.
Okay.
I got a 1, I got a 4, and I got a 16.
Okay, so the 16 is garbage.
It's garbage. It's trash.
You throw that out.
It's a garbage number.
But 1 and 4 are both critical successes. So you needed 2 to save him. That nets you 2 back in the pool. Unless you want to use them for something like obtain information or to create a trait.
I'm gonna create a trait.
Okay.
Well, so would Sook Doctor, because that's under one of the personality traits already, would that constitute the healing, or can I do a trait of, like healer or
Actually, hold on. Because you will have netted 1 point.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to spend 2 of my threat. Increase the difficulty by 1.
You sneaky sneak.
That leaves me with.
Did I still save him though?
You did still save him, but instead of earning extra momentum, you only earned 1. So if you wanted to use it, it would be for an obtaining information instead, or you could pool it. I just wanted to make sure that I could use my threat to increase the difficulty.
Okay, I am going to use it.
Oh.
The 1.
Oh yeah.
To obtain information.
Okay.
I wanna understand the wound. So what kind of wound?
Oh.
Okay. This is where I'm going with it.
Mhm.
I want to give myself, because I get myself a trait. So I want to give myself the trait of like healer. So that because if I do that, I get bonuses on healing later, right? If it's rolls against healing.
Oh, are you using obtain information so that you can now use putting theory into practice?
Correct.
Okay, so you're dominoing.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, look at him playing the game.
Like the sands of the hourglass. No, sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to think. I'm thinking outside the box, bro.
Yeah,
I'm thinking outside the box.
So
Thinking outside the sandbox.
you definitely find out the information that this knife is not metallic in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
It is deadly. And you can see that without the fact that you had, if you didn't have your little black bag with you, you would have died within minutes. So it's a great thing that not only was there a Sook doctor here, but an equipped doctor, to say the least. So you've obtained that information, and now you want to use your putting theory into practice.
Correct.
To give yourself the lifesaver trait.
I like that. Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay.
That works.
Lifesaver.
Anytime that there's a life or death situation, your difficulties are reduced by 1.
Okay, now here's my question, because this is where it's going to get interesting.
Okay.
'Cause you know me, I always like to make things interesting for you, Will.
4.
How much time does that take me to do what I'm doing with him?
It's going to take you at least almost half an hour to an hour.
Okay, so there's no way that I can go from. So after I'm done with I walk over to her body.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if there's any sign of life.
There's none.
I know there's not going to be, but.
There's none.
Okay.
When that happens, I want to just check on her suit to see if there was any. I'm looking for anything that was given to her, as far as a note, as far as even if it's something written on her, because she could have written it on her arm, on her hand, wrist, coordinates, anything that could give me some clue as to what's going on here.
You see that there is a patch, something that is not Fremen made, that looks to be an off-worlder patch. Something very similar to the patch that the Swordmaster has, except that the symbol is not the same symbol as the house that they all kind of come from.
Question: When are you searching her body?
This is because remember
There's a
course
half
of
an hour.
actions were, yeah. So, I as swiftly as you were able to get to save this person,
You're doing
to
it at
get
that
to that
point.
person, I've already gone ahead and I've already
Okay.
came in for the kill for that. That was
Okay.
one and done.
That's fine. Cool.
Yeah. So at that point, that however long Will would decipher that would take for me to find that information, or at least find that patch. I don't know if that's within the half an hour or it would take me longer, considering I'm looking through a suit.
Yeah, no. It would be really fast. So the symbols for House Moritani are usually either a ringed planet with 2 stars on either side of it, or a horse head. The one that you find on her is neither. It looks to be green and gold coloring, and it looks either like a curved blade or something holding fire.
Curved blade or something holding fire?
Yeah, a curved blade with a weird handle, or it's
like a sickle?
kind of
Like a kukri?
No, it's more like the curve of a scythe.
Okay.
Okay, curve of the scythe. Okay, that makes sense.
Or something holding a lambent flame. You see that are you pulling it out and showing it around, or are you keeping it to yourself?
Well, I hold it. I grab the patch, right? Oh, I can tell immediately this is obviously not Fremen made.
No.
But I can also tell, as you said, that it's similar to what I see on the Swordmaster that's with us, but it is not the same, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that I can tell based off of that this is from their land, this is part of their world, but it's not. I take it as this is somebody else, since this is a different inscription.
Yep.
I palm it in my hand because it's smaller than my palm, right?
Oh yeah.
It's smaller than my palm. I motion to the rest of the freemen that's not Messick, and to let them know, to see if we can preserve any life from this.
Yeah, they get to work.
Yeah. So as you're helping, you're gonna see these guys literally putting them in a body bag. So as that, I walk over to Messick and I just literally, just as I walk to him, I open my palm up so that he can see what I found.
Steve looks at it. I don't recognize it. Where did you find it?
Found it on her. Who is this?
I do not know. And you see him.
But you've seen this
Yeah,
okay.
you see him motion for the Outlanders. And at this point, the other Fremen have pulled out their Kindles, and now there's an air of distrust that has befallen the group. And you see them push the woman and the Blade Master forward towards you.
I immediately motion, put my hands up. With the patch, and I conceal the patch into the suit, but I push my hands up, and I put my hands up. I go, and I say it in common. No need for hostile action at this moment.
Am I done with the healing of this person?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's still
so
going
I'm not
on.
in. I hate you.
And they know not to bother
This
you.
is my situation. No, but this is my moment.
They know.
This is the only good thing my imperial conditioning is for.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm saving a life. Fuck this life.
You mother. No, because with imperial conditioning, I automatically succeed on any skill test to persuade somebody else. I mean them no harm.
Yeah.
Like I automatically succeed. So I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to hurt you.
You are not trying to hurt them.
Right. But still.
Here's the thing, though. You think that the game master didn't already think about this?
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
That's why I'm keeping you busy. That's why I'm keeping you busy.
Yeah.
So,
you don't have to worry about what's going on over here. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
You see the Blade Master kind of hold up his hands. The Bene Gesserit girl holds up her hands as well, and he looks at you. He's like, I don't rightly know what happened, but I can assure you we are not trying to start anything aggressive here.
I go ahead and I pull the patch out from the sleeve, and I ask, do you know where this could have come from? And I say this again in common.
He looks at it. That's the house symbol for House Richese.
When he says the House Richese, do I hear any reaction from Steve or any of the Freemen?
No, they don't know what any of that means. But you do notice that the girl looks back at the work that the Sook Doctor is doing, and then turns back to Russell, and she says, "Doesn't make any sense. House Richese and House Vernius have conflict between them, but why would they bring it to ours house?" And he just kind of shakes his head like, I don't know.
I look over and I see that that's just the Sook Doctor working behind me.
Yeah.
So as you, I look over at Steve. I go, this is something that I say it. I don't say it in common, but I say it. It looks as though now we're in the web of whatever conflict is happening. We're now in this web of conflict that is happening with this group, and we must find out why. I would imagine it would be because of, and then I kicked the sand on the floor.
He looks back in the direction of where the city is being built, and he sighs. We will have to get back in the flying machines. We need to go back.
I look back. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
We need to get them back.
Understood. I look over at the Blade Master, and with all of this, I say, just going to ask once. You had no inclination of what has happened here, correct?
That is correct. I'm not privy to any of the spy chatter in the house, so if any of us knew this was coming, it definitely was not shared with me.
I just want this is just a means because I've already been burned once by my own. So I just want to decipher if this is something that I just because I want to check my gut feeling on this.
Sure. Um, we'll say it's an understanding role or a communication role. Which one do you want to go off
Oh
of?
man. Communication is probably that's my worst stat.
Excellent.
Um it would be communication in this sense because I've never yeah, it would be communication, I think.
All right.
So it's a lower stat.
Truth or faith?
I'm giving truth or faith.
Those are the two that I
Truth
would.
would sound truth would sound the obvious, wouldn't it?
Yeah. All right. That's going to be a target number of 9.
Yep. A 14 and a 2.
Okay. So the 2 at least gets you 1 success. So that gives you a momentum point.
Oh, okay, so this was 0. All right, you were like,
Yeah.
no, there's no
Yeah. Yeah. The house has nothing to gain from killing one of their own,
Yeah.
especially somebody that has information. No.
Right.
Yeah. No. He seems to be straight up with you. The situation that he's in and just the surprise of all of it just hasn't shaken him, but he's definitely kind of sitting now on his back heels. Like he's being much more attentive. You see him kind of taking into account where he is, how many people are around him, who has what weapons. Like he has become much more of a threat as far as danger is concerned.
Mhm.
Because before he was very lackadaisical. He was just kind of like, sure, I'm just babysitting, so I don't have to put any real attention to this. But now he's working on all 4 cylinders. Like he's at work. He's clocked in.
Okay. I look over at Hoku to see if the person that was attacked is alive or not.
Yeah, yeah. Because of the quick work, the equipment that he has on him, you see that he manages to keep him from dying. Better part of half an hour, and you see him not only drinking a lot of his water from his canteen, but using it to just clean the wound, uh, which just surprises the shit out of everybody.
Yeah. Um which uh as I walk, and by the way, did we end up picking up um that Freeman's Chris knife, or is it still there?
Hers? No, hers is still in her hand.
Hmm. I go ahead and I walk over to where the sheath is. I walk over to her and I untie the sheath for her Chris knife,
Mhm.
and I go ahead and grab the Chris knife and I sheath it back and wrap it up. Because honor doesn't it for no honor you do not keep this. Not this does not go with you into the next life.
Nice. You make your way
I turn
back.
over.
Yeah, you make your way
Mhm.
back to where the ornithopters were, and they are no longer there.
And you said that it would be a 2-hour. It's a 2-hour trek if I was on a sandworm.
At least a 2-hour trek.
At least. This is gonna be fun.
Was it expected that they were going to leave and come back and get us?
Not at all. They were supposed to just stay there until you were done. Because all you were supposed to do is deliver a message.
That's right. This is quite concerning. They weren't supposed to leave us.
Would there be any reason for them to leave us? And I say that.
I look around. Is there any kind of sign of like somebody attacking them or anything like on the ground? Like if there was any kind of like steps or anything like that?
The city is so far away that there's nothing really visible on the horizon. As the sun starts to descend, though, you can see that not just the Space Guild ship is floating above in orbit. There's a bunch of other ships that are now joined it. And you can see that there's a bombardment that has started. And as the truth of the matter starts to sink in, I think this is a good point to call it for the one shot.
Wow.
Wow.
So what did you guys think of the Modifius 2D20 system?
I actually really like it. Like it's for a campaign. I think for a one shot, it's great to get it out there. But I think that this system definitely gives itself to being in a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Like because these personality traits that you're getting, these adjustments that you can do with your statements.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nothing that I experienced would have changed it at this point.
Yeah.
But I can see where this would have. You know, it could have, and it's interesting because it gives you that perspective. Look at that. Kenny and I played two completely different characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it worked. You know, and I mean, in most role playing situations, that's the case. But Dune leans itself more towards the role playing aspect of it. Yeah. I think more so than other games like a werewolf or a D&D. You know, there is role playing, but it's you know it's a lot more action oriented.
Yeah.
This is a lot more about societal, cultural stuff like that, and like I would love to play this as a campaign.
Okay.
Yeah,
you know?
I would actually like to expand. I would like to expand on this. I mean, just purely on the system alone, the 2D20 system, is an interesting. It's interesting to me because this is the first time I ever played something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that, like other TTRPGs, you are able to gain not necessarily feats or anything like that, but your character does evolve in a way where it does it can blend itself, and in this case it's by truths. It's based off of the character's actual, like, how they're feeling in that situation can ultimately change the way that they would that the actual rolling of the dice would go for them.
Mm-hmm.
I love the setting, the actual campaign setting, Dune. I love that idea. And yeah, I'm glad that Jeff and myself played two opposing characters, because this is going to be two different types of like how
experiences.
We handle situations.
Right.
Yeah. The experiences are going to be completely different because, and if we would continue on this actual one shot, if we go from this point on, it would be interesting to see how the dynamic would be going from like getting in the middle, because now we're not even talking about one-on-one. We're also talking about like warfare, as in skirmishes with fleets of people.
Yeah.
Like that, I would love to see how that plays out as well.
Yeah. It's a fun system. I was introduced to it on McStabber Studios, which I highly recommend you following if you're not following them. We got to play Octung Cthulhu, which is Cthulhu in World War II.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's a fun system. The second I saw the back of the book when we got it at the bar, I was like, oh, the 2D20 system. I'm familiar with this. And then reading it and reading the lore of the Dune, and having read the book and seen the movie and whatnot, I knew that I had to do a one shot of it at one point. But it's a good system. It's interesting. The combat, the fact that there's no hit points, really kind of makes things a little bit more dangerous because you got 6 successes.
Oh yeah, I got really lucky.
So it's like anything less, she would have been around for another round, and she would have done something. And so it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, there's no hit points, but if you get wounded, like there's a new complication that you didn't have.
Right.
Oh my God, no! Can you actually that would have been really interesting, especially
I can't walk.
If you won.
Yeah,
he can't walk. He can't walk, and I am bleeding into my suit.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Oh, for sure.
Let's do the reverse that what we did when we introduced ourselves. So let's start with Kenny this time. Tell the people where they can find you, what you're doing with your life.
You can find me as far with Crit or Die, Bears Love Gaming. You can find us. We're on TikTok. We're on Twitch. We're on Instagram. Pretty much social medias. You can find us. If not, you can also see myself personally on Mr. Underscore with the underscores in between each word, and on Instagram and also on Twitter.
Okay. And Jeff, what are you up to? Where can people find you?
Not much. No, I'm just kidding.
Not much.
Besides Crit or Die, I am the second bear in Crit or Die, Bear Love Gaming. You can find me, like I said, mentioned before, Crime O Copia on iTunes and wherever you get your podcasts. It's a true crime podcast that I do with our fellow rogue from our D&D game, Q. We just finished season 1. We've got a few mini episodes. Season 2's coming up with Miami Mysteries, because that's what our listeners voted on.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, and then the other podcast I'm currently active on is Kickflix. It's Kickflix, but it's spelled like with an X, like Netflix. And we've got about 10 or 15 episodes out, I think, already. We have a wheel, picks a movie, we watch it, and we review it. So it's pretty interesting.
These are all martial arts movies, though, right? Like that's the
yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. It's martial arts. We looked up the definition. Surprisingly, like boxing's actually considered a martial art. So we just did
Ali.
The last So the wheel we have a wheel that picks, and it picked it was 2002's Unleashed, starring Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames.
Oh my God,
which was awful. But yeah. Spoiler alert! But yeah, we do all kinds. We've done Enter the Dragon. We did Big Trouble in Little China. We did
Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon.
Last Dragon was the last episode we just recorded.
Nice.
Which that movie is still as amazing as I remember.
Show enough.
But yeah, and then you can catch me on the 2 wonderful games that Mr. Will Cabrera, our wonderful storyteller in this, which Kenny and I are in both of them together. Also, we are very codependent. We're on a vampire game on every other Monday, and we are on the D&D game every other Monday.
Every other Friday.
Friday. Sorry.
Okay.
Because
a lot.
But yeah, a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Again, my cafecito's running out.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to make some for myself. Again.
Oh, in Denver. Do they make it in Denver? That'd be awesome.
No, I need to make it myself. So I'm down to 2 bags of Bustelo. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for being part of this. I wanted to keep it small because I think this is definitely a system that lends itself, like White Wolf, to being better with a smaller group. Whereas D&D, Star Wars, like they can Werewolf, they can be a little bit bigger. But yeah, man, I had a good time. I hope you guys had a good time. As always, we here on the channel advocate for being safe. So please continue to wash your hands, continue to keep your distance, continue to wear your mask in public if you feel like you need to. Because there are variants that are exploding out there right now, and we are just treating it like it's over, and it's definitely not over yet. Another big thing that we talk about here on the channel is mental health. you feel like you need help, just know that there are resources out there for you. It is okay to not be okay. There are phone numbers going up live. If you're watching live on the Twitch chat right now, they'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not in the United States, there is a link as well to help you find the resources you need in the areas that you're living in. Because, you know, it's been rough. It's been a rough couple of years. It's not looking like it's getting any easier. And sometimes we just need a helping hand. And we need to know that there are resources out there to be that helping hand for us. So if you feel like you need it, it's there. If you're a friend or family member of somebody that is a strong or happy-go-lucky personality, check in on them. You know, please. You never know how far a simple hello or how are you text can change the trajectory of somebody's life. As always, I will see you when I see you. This Monday we are off. Tuesday you can catch me on McStabber Studios for our werewolf game, where I play Howard Sanders, a Glasswalker Theurge that they nicknamed Maui Howie. And next Friday you can catch these two lovely faces, or our three lovely faces if you are so inclined, as we go back to D&D. And we get to see the repercussions of what's happened in the last session. So as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you when we see you. Have a good one, guys.